Hello students, what is going on? My name is Abdullah Momin from On Target Classes and welcome back to my channel. And in this video, we are going to see the analytical method to determine beat frequency. And we are going to start right now. If this is your first time here and you want to learn physics, especially class 11th and class 12 syllabus in a simple way with some amazing animation, simulation and PowerPoint presentation, then subscribe this channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. So the question may ask on this topic like this: prove that the frequency of beats is equal to the difference between the frequencies of the two sound notes giving rise to beats, or deduce analytically the expression for the beat frequency, or show that beats frequency is equal to frequency difference between two interfering waves. Now in this video, the very first thing which we are going to derive is the equation of resultant wave due to the superposition of two sound waves. And after that, we are going to see the frequency of waxing, that is maximum intensity of sound. Then after that, we will see the equation of frequency of waning, that is minimum intensity of sound. And with the help of point number 2 and 3, we will derive the equation of beat frequency. Now, what is beat? What is waxing? What is waning? If you want to learn these points in detail, just click on the I button and watch the video first and then come back here to watch this video. Now consider the two sound waves having same amplitude and slightly different frequency N1 and N2, and let us assume for simplicity that the listener is at x is equal to 0. Therefore, the equation of displacement at x is equal to 0 can be written as follow. So for first sound wave, we will write y1 is equal to a sine 2 pi n1t, where y1 is the displacement of first wave, a is the amplitude of first wave, and n1 is the frequency of first sound wave. Now for second sound wave, we will write y2 is equal to a sine 2 pi n2t, where y2 is the displacement of second wave, a is the amplitude of the second wave, and n2 is the frequency of second wave. Now from equation 1 and 2, we can clearly say that their amplitude is same. That means the first sound wave is having an amplitude a, the second sound wave is also amplitude a. So their amplitude is same, that is small a, but their frequency is slightly different, that is n1 is the frequency of first sound wave and n2 is the frequency of second sound wave. And when these two sound waves superimposes with each other, they will give us beat. So we have learned that the equation of traveling wave when it is travels along a positive x-axis can be written as y1 is equal to a sine 2 pi nt minus 2 pi x upon lambda. And what we are considering here, we are considering that this x is 0, the position is 0, that means x is equal to 0. And if you will put x is equal to 0, this whole term becomes 0. And what we will get? We will get y is equal to a sine 2 pi nt. So that is the modified equation which we have written in this section. This is the resultant equation for first wave. This is the resultant equation of second wave. Now how beats looks like, so see this diagram. The very first wave, that is the top wave, is the wave, first sound wave. After that, the middle wave is second sound wave, and these two sound waves are superimposing with each other, and the third wave is the resultant wave, and we are going to say that this is the wave which produces after superimposing of y1 and y2, that is first and second wave. When these two waves superimposes with each other, they will give rise to third wave. So this y1 is a certain frequency, that is n1. This y2 is a frequency n2, and the frequency difference is very small, and if these two waves superimposes with each other, they will give rise to resultant wave that looks like this. So this is the resultant wave which produced due to the superposition of these two waves. So first we are going to find out the equation of this resultant wave. So in order to find out the equation of this resultant wave, we are going to use the principle of superposition of wave. And according to the principle of superposition of wave, the resultant displacement is the vector sum of the displacement of two waves which are superimposing. So here y1 is superimposing with y2, and they are giving us resultant wave, and the displacement of this resultant wave is the vector sum of y1 and y2. So according to the principle of superposition, we can write y is equal to y1 plus y2. Now we have the equation of y1, that is equation number 1, and we have the equation of y2, that is equation number 2. So now we are going to put equation 1 and equation 2 in this equation, and what we are getting, y is equal to a sine 2 pi n1t plus a sine 2 pi n2t. This is your y1 and this is your y2. We are using equation 1 and equation 2. Equation 1 is the equation of y1, which is a sine 2 pi n1t, and equation 2 is the equation of y2, that is a sine 2 pi n2t. So now for further calculation, we are going to take a and a, which is common in both the terms on right hand side of the equation. So after taking a and a common from both the term, what we will get? We will get y is equal to a in bracket sine 2 pi n1t plus sine 2 pi n2t. Now in square bracket, we have sine 2 pi n1t plus sine 2 pi n2t, and we are going to apply the one formula of trigonometry, and that formula is the formula of sine c plus sine d. So by using the formula, that is sine c plus sine d is equal to 2 sine c plus d divided by 2 into cos c minus d divided by 2. So in red color, this is C. So we will consider this red bracket as C, and the blue color is D. So we will consider this blue bracket as D. So the formula of sine C and sine D, sine C plus sine D is 2 sine C plus D divided by 2 into cos C minus D divided by 2. So whenever C comes, we are going to put this bracket 2 pi n1t, and whenever D comes, instead of D, we are going to put 2 pi n2t. So what we are getting after applying this formula in this equation, that is y is equal to a in bracket 2 sine c plus d, that is red one 2 pi n1t plus blue one, that is 2 pi n2t divided by 2 into cos 2 pi n1t minus 2 pi n2t divided by 2. So instead of c, we have putted 2 pi n1t, and instead of d, we have putted 2 pi n2t. So this is our equation after putting the value of c and d. The value of c, the equation of c, we will consider c as 2 pi n1t and d as 2 pi n2t. So after applying the formula, we are getting this equation, and now we will take, or we will simplify this equation. So this equation, in this round bracket, what are the common terms we are getting? So in numerator, we have 2 pi n1t plus 2 pi n2t, and in numerator 2 pi and 2 pi is common, so we will take 2 pi outside the bracket, that is on, we will write 2 pi on left hand side of the bracket, and t is also common, so we will take this outside the bracket to right. So after taking the common terms outside the bracket, what we are getting, y is equal to a 2 sine 2 pi is common, which is taken outside the bracket, and now what we have left, that is n1, n2 and 2. So in bracket we have got n1 plus n2 divided by 2. This 2 pi is taken outside, this t is taken outside, because these are the common terms. Now same thing we have applied over here. This 2 pi, we have taken the common to the left hand side of this bracket, and this t is also taken out as common, and we have written it on right hand side of this round bracket. So what we have left now, we have left n1 minus n2 divided by 2. So now we are going to rearrange the term in the above equation. We are going to change the places of certain terms for the simplification. So first we will write cos 2 pi, and this 2 and this a will get multiplied. So 2a into cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 into t. So this term we have written over here, that is cos 2 pi in bracket n1 minus n2t divided by 2 into t. And this a into 2, we will write this as 2a. So 2a cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2t, and what is remaining we will write at last, that is sine 2 pi n1 plus n2 divided by 2 into t. So this equation, we have rearranged the above equation and we have got this equation. Now we are going to consider a certain constant here. That means we will consider, or we will substitute, a is equal to 2a cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 upon 2 into t, and n is equal to n1 plus n2 divided by 2. So basically, instead of this term, we will put a. This is your a. And instead of n1 plus n2 divided by 2, we are going to put n. And what is n? N is the mean frequency, because n1 is the frequency of first sound wave, n2 is the frequency of second sound wave, and when you will take the average of these two frequencies, that will be your mean frequency, and your mean frequency is n. So instead of n1 plus n2 divided by 2, we are going to put n, and instead of 2a cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 into t, we are going to put a. So what we are getting now, finally we will get a equation y is equal to a sine 2 pi nt. A we have putted instead of this term, we will write a, and instead of this bracketed term, we will write n. So sine 2 pi as it is, this is a, this is sine 2 pi as it is, this n1 plus n2 divided by 2 is n, and this t we will write as it is. So this is our resultant wave equation, which we will get after the superposition of y1 and y2. And in this equation, this is the equation of a progressive wave which is having a frequency n and amplitude a, where a is the amplitude of this resultant wave and n is the frequency of this resultant wave. By using this term, we are going to find out the frequency of waxing and the frequency of waning, and after that ultimately we are going to find out the frequency of beats. So let's move to the next slide. So y is equal to a sine 2 pi nt, that is the equation of resultant wave, where a is the amplitude of the resultant wave and n is the frequency of the resultant wave. So for maximum amplitude, that means waxing. What is waxing? So we have learned that waxing are the point of maximum intensity of sound. That means, look at this diagram. After superimposition of y1 and y2, this is the resultant wave equation. We all know that the intensity of sound is proportional to the square of the amplitude. Hence, the resultant intensity will be maximum when the amplitude is maximum. And here, maximum amplitude means waxing. Maximum intensity we will get when the amplitude is maximum. So at this point, the amplitude is maximum. So we will say that this point is waxing. This point is waxing. At this point, the amplitude is maximum. So this point is waxing, and the another waxing we are getting over here because this is the maximum amplitude. So in this resultant wave, the last wave, we are getting 3 waxing, and when we will get wax, that means the amplitude is maximum, and maximum amplitude we will get, that is equal to the amplitude of first sound wave plus the amplitude of second sound wave, that is a plus a, that will be 2a. That means maximum intensity of sound, and this is possible if the amplitude is maximum, that is plus minus 2a, or we will say that the resultant wave having an amplitude a, and if the resultant amplitude is plus minus 2a, that means this point is waxing. Therefore, we will write a is equal to plus minus 2a. But what is a? So in our previous slide, we have seen that a is equal to 2a cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 into t is equal to a. This is the equation of a, and this equation of a, the value of a is plus minus 2 pi. So instead of a in this equation, we are going to put plus minus 2a, that is the condition of waxing, that means the condition for maximum amplitude, that means the condition for maximum intensity of sound. So whenever the amplitude is plus minus 2a, at these points we will get the maximum sound. So now instead of a, we are going to put plus minus 2a, and this 2a and this 2a will get cancelled. And what we will get? We will get cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2t is equal to plus minus 1. This is the remaining term. Now for further simplification, what we are going to do, that is your theta. Consider this term as theta. Now when we will get cos theta is equal to plus 1, and when we will get cos theta is equal to minus 1, this is the value we are getting. Cos of this term, we will consider this term, highlighted term, as theta. That means cos theta is equal to plus 1 or minus 1. So when we will get cos theta plus 1, when theta is equal to 0. So when the value of this term is 0, we will get plus 1. Whenever the value of this term is pi, that is 180 degree, we will get minus 1. So cos 0, the value of cos 0 is plus 1, and the value of cos 180, that means cos pi, is minus 1. So what we are going to write next, this bracket is having the value of 0. That is the only condition, when we will get cos theta is equal to plus 1. So we will write 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2t is equal to 0. So when this bracket is equal to 0, we will get cos 0 as plus 1. When we will put the value of 2 pi n1 minus n2 upon 2 into t as pi, we will get cos of this. Cos pi is minus 1, cos 2 pi is plus 1, cos 3 pi is minus 1, cos 4 pi is plus 1, cos 5 pi is minus 1. So these are the probable values, these are the possible values of this bracket. When this term, that means 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 into t, is equal to 0, that means cos 0, that means plus 1. When this bracket 2 pi n1 minus n2 upon 2 into t is equal to pi, that means cos pi, that will equal to minus 1. Cos 2 pi plus 1, cos 3 pi minus 1, cos 4 pi plus 1, cos 5 pi minus 1, and these values, this series will goes on. So 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 5 pi. So the next term will be 6 pi, 7 pi, 8 pi. So in general, we can write 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 into t is equal to p pi, and the value of p we are going to start from 0. That means when you will put 0 instead of p, you will get first 0. So if we will put p is equal to 0, we will get 0. If we will put p is equal to 1, we will get pi. If we will put p is equal to 2, that means 2 pi, and we will get this series. So this is the general equation we are writing. So next we are going to simplify these equation, and for simplification we are going to cancel this pi and this pi from both sides of the equation. These two and these two will get cancelled. Now what we have left? We have left t. We will kept t as it is, but this term n1 minus n2 is in multiplication with t. We are going to take this term another side of the equation, and it will becomes in division with p. So in the next step, what we are getting, t is equal to p into 1 upon n1 minus n2. Now this is the time instant at which we are getting maximum amplitude. What is t? T is the time instant. So now we are going to put the value of t one by one. First we will put 0. So if you are putting 0 instead of p, what we will get? 0. If you will put 1, that means we will get 1 upon n1 minus n2. Then again we are going to put 2 and we will get 2 upon n1 minus n2. So after putting the value of p, what we will get? T is equal to 0. Then next term 1 upon n1 minus n2. Then next term 2 upon n1 minus n2. Then if you will put the value of p3, we will get 3 upon n1 minus n2. And if you will put the value of p as 4, that will be 4 divided by n1 minus n2 and so on. So these are the time instant at which we are getting waxing, that is maximum intensity. At this time instant we are getting wax point, that is maximum. If first wax we are getting at time instant 0, then the next wax we will get after time 1 upon n1 minus n2. The next wax we are getting at time instant of 2 upon n1 minus n2. So these are the time instants at which we are getting maximum amplitude, that is waxing. So what is the time difference between two successive waxing? First and second waxing, second and third waxing, third and fourth waxing, fourth and fifth waxing. So what is the difference between first and second, second and third, third and fourth, fourth and fifth? So when you will calculate the difference, or how can we calculate final minus initial? Thus the time interval between the two successive maxima of sound is always t is equal to 1 upon n1 minus n2. So this is the time period of waxing. The time interval between two successive waxing is 1 upon n1 minus n2. That this is the difference between these two, first and second. Now third and fourth, fourth and fifth. When you will calculate the difference between the two successive waxing, we will get t is equal to, that is the time interval, that is the time period of waxing, 1 upon n1 minus n2. So this is the condition or time period of waxing. So what is waning? Waning are the point of minimum intensity of sound. So look at this diagram. This is the first wave, this is the second wave, and this is the fourth. At this is the resultant wave. At this point, resultant wave is having a minimum amplitude. At this point, the resultant wave is having a minimum amplitude. So we will say that this point is waning, this point is waning. So at waning, we are getting minimum amplitude. That means here you can clearly see that the amplitude is 0. So it is possible if and only if the amplitude of the resultant wave is 0, that means A is equal to 0. And we have the equation of A, and that is equal to 2A cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 upon 2 into t is equal to A. And the value of A for minimum amplitude for waning is 0. So instead of A, we are going to put 0. So therefore, the next step we will write 2A cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 into t is equal to 0. Now this 2 pi, 2A is in multiplication with this term. We will take this 2A another side of the equal sign. So it becomes in division with 0. And this will be equal to 0. So this 2 is coming another side of the equal sign, and this whole term will become 0. So we will write next equation as cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 t is equal to 0. Now consider this term as theta. When we will get cos theta is equal to 0. So when the theta is equal to 90, that means cos 90, we will get 0, or cos 90, when you will convert it into radian, it will become pi by 2. Cos pi by 2 is 0. Cos 3 pi by 2 is 0. Cos 5 pi by 2 is 0. So the possible value of 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 into t, we can write it as 2 pi n1 minus n2 upon 2 into t, pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2. Whenever the value of this highlighted term, that is 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 into t, is pi by 2, so cos of this pi by 2 will 0. And if the value of this 2 pi n1 minus n2 divided by 2 3 pi by 2, we will get 0. When it is equal to 5 pi by 2, we will get 0. When it is equal to 7 pi by 2, we will get 0, and so on. So in general, the general equation of this series can be written as 2 pi n1 minus n2 upon 2t, that is the left hand side. We will write the left hand side as it is, and in right hand side for this series, what is the general equation? 2p minus 1 pi by 2, where p is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now in this series, for this point, that is minimum amplitude, remember one thing: for minimum amplitude, the value of p will starts from 1, while for maximum amplitude, the value of p will starts from 0. So now we will put the value of p1. So 2 into 1, 2, 2 minus 1, 1, that is pi by 2. So we will get first term. Then when you will put the value of p2, 2 into 2, 4, 4 minus 1, 3, that is 3 pi by 2. That is the second term. When you will put the value of p3, you will get 5 pi by 2. When you will put the value of p4, you will get 7 pi by 2, and so on. So this is the general equation of this series. Now we are going to simplify this equation. So we will cancel this pi and this pi. We will cancel 2 and 2. So what we have left in left hand side of the equation is n1 minus n2 into t, and this term, that is n1 minus n2, is in multiplication with t. We will take this term to another side of the equation, and we can write it in division, that is 1 upon n1 minus n2. So the next step we are going to write is t is equal to 2p minus 1 divided by 2, 1 upon n1 minus n2. So remember, we have cancelled this pi and this pi, 2 and 2. And this term will comes another side of the equation, that will become 1 upon n1 minus n2, and 2p minus 1, and this 2 is written with 2p minus 1. So now we are going to put the value of p. First we will put p is equal to 1. 2 into 1, 2, minus 1, 1, 1 upon 2. So what series we will get after putting the value of p? So if you will put the value of p1, we will get 1 upon 2 n1 minus n2. If you will put value of p as 2, you will get 3 upon 2 n1 minus n2. If you will put value of p3, you will get 5 upon 2 in bracket n1 minus n2. If you will put the value of p4, you will get 7 upon 2 n1 minus n2, and this series will goes on. Now at this time instant, we will get waning. And this is the time at which we are getting minimum amplitude, minimum intensity of sound. So if we are getting minimum intensity of sound at this time instant, so we are going to calculate the time interval between two successive waning. That means the time difference between first and second, third and fourth, second and third. So when you will calculate the time difference, that means you have to subtract first and second term, you have to subtract second and third term, or you have to subtract third and fourth. So when you will calculate the time interval between the two successive waning, what we will get? We will get this time interval is equal to 1 upon n1 minus n2. So we have seen that the time interval between two successive maxima is 1 upon n1 minus n2 in our previous slide, and in this slide we are getting the time interval between two successive minima, that is also equal to t is equal to 1 upon n1 minus n2. So we will say that the time interval between two successive minima is same as the time interval between two successive maxima, and that is t is equal to 1 upon n1 minus n2. But reciprocal of frequency is equal to time period, or we will say that time period t is equal to 1 upon n. And what is the equation of t? That is 1 upon n1 minus n2. So now by considering these two terms, we will write our next equation. 1 upon n1 minus n2 is equal to 1 upon n. That is the frequency of maxima, that is the frequency of minima. So in both sides of this equation, numerator is same, that is 1 and 1. So if numerator is same, the denominator should also be same. So we will write n is equal to n1 minus n2. That is the frequency of maxima, and this is the frequency of minima. And if the frequency of maxima and the frequency of minima is same, that means the frequency of waxing and the frequency of waning is same. So we will say that the frequency of beat is also same, and it is equal to n is equal to n1 minus n2. Now in order to understand this, how the frequency of maxima and minima is same, and how, and if the frequency of maxima and minima is same, the frequency of beat is also same. So suppose this sound will takes 2 seconds to reach from initial point to this point. This is the distance covered by first wave in 1 second. This is the distance covered by second wave in 1 second. And when they will superimposes with each other, this is the distance covered by resultant wave in 1 second. Now how many waxing we are getting? This is your waxing, this maximum amplitude is your waxing. So number of waxing in 1 second, we are getting number of waxing in 1 second as 2. So we will say that the frequency of waxing is 2. Now how many wanes are we are getting? How many points we are getting at which the amplitude is 0? So this is wane, this point is also waning. So we are getting 2 waxing and we are getting 2 waning in 1 second. So number of waxing per second is 2. Number of waning in a second is 2. So we'll say that the frequency of wax is 2, the frequency of wane is also 2, and 1 wax and 1 wane combine to form 1 beat. So these two will combine to form 1 beat, these two will combine to form another beat. So the number of beats we are getting is also 2. So we will say that the frequency of waxing is N1 minus N2. The frequency of waning is also N1 minus N2. And the frequency of beat is also same. That is 2 to 2. In this case, this is 2 to 2. What is N1? N1 is the frequency of first sound wave. N2 is the frequency of second sound wave. Now consider if the frequency of first sound wave is 13 and if the frequency of second sound wave is 11. So the difference between these two sound wave will be 2. So if the difference of the two sound wave is 2, the frequency of waxing will be 2, the frequency of waning will be 2, and the frequency of beat is also 2. So this is nothing but the beat frequency, which is equal to the difference between the frequency of two sound wave interfering with each other. So that's it, students. That is our lecture. Now, if you want to learn the numerical part of this chapter, you can check out this amazing channel, Physics with Nafis sir. I am going to put the link in the description. Go and check this out.